A very good morning to all. We'll start our session at 10 a.m. sharp. Thank you so much.
Rahul, do we have the next speaker lined up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, good morning.
A very good morning to all. On the behalf of ITEX Institute, we would like to welcome all the participants, eminent speaker, senior dignitaries, and branding partner in the third edition of Global Manufacturing 4.0 Forum. To start the session, we would like.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. With that, we are moving to our next speaker. And our next special talk is presented by Mr. Shekhar Pawar, sir. He is CEO of GrassDew IT Solution India. And today, Shekhar sir will talk on business domain specifically cybersecurity control implementation for small and medium enterprise. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It is visible.
So thank you very much for all of the fellow speakers for setting the platform of people, process, technology, most of the areas you have covered. So it's my turn now as a cybersecurity domain expert. So I will quickly go through few of the slides. Few slides I will go slow because we have lack of time. So let me, yeah. So I'm leading the GrassDew IT Solutions Private Limited, which is into cybersecurity software development, and we are also Tata Teleservices channel partner for Pan India level, and I'm also having various certifications in cybersecurity. I'm right now doing the research doctorate from SSBM Switzerland. My topic is business domain, specifically cybersecurity controls implementation for small and medium enterprises. So today I'm going through my research. Since pandemic, I'm working on this research, and I'm now reaching towards the conclusion. So I'm trying to, we are trying to improve the cybersecurity posture of small and medium enterprises through this research. So since January 2016, we are working. I already specified that. So we, as you can see in this slide, so what is the importance of the small and medium enterprises or SME segment? So around 2/3 of global employment opportunities, more than 70 to 80% of the jobs are created by small and medium enterprises. Then 50% of GDP of developed economy is contribution of small and medium enterprises. Then again, if we dig into number of businesses, which contribution of small and medium, 90% of the population of small businesses is small and medium enterprises worldwide. Then if we look at the statistics of cyber attacks happening, 43% of cyber attacks are happening towards the small businesses, and 60% of small businesses who undergo such cyber attacks close their business within 6 months. So this is very serious matter where small and medium enterprises are getting cyber attacked, and it is directly or indirectly impacting the global economy. So my topic is in relevance to that, where I'm trying to define the problem and trying to give the solution. So if I haven't gone through all the cyber attack news, but this is recent attack news up to this month, where small businesses are getting attacked by Russian hackers due to the crisis between Russia and Ukraine. And as many of my friends spoke today about the automation, similarly, cyber attacks are also automated by cyber criminals, and it is very harmful. Like as the technology is in right hands, it is also in wrong people hands. So even as the digital surface is increasing according to Industry 4.0 requirement, but similarly, it is increasing the knowledge and the different kind of attacks and innovation in cyber attacks simultaneously. So what is an attack? Attack is a way harm can happen to the system. And what is a threat? The possibility to cause harm to the system is known as threat. So I'm just quickly going through a few of the definitions to be on same page. So weakness in any system, like the eggshell is having weak soft shell. So that is a weakness. So it is a vulnerability. Then how likelihood that trade can be harm the information asset or result loss. So that is known as risk. And how to safeguard your against that risk is known as control. So today's session, we will discuss many aspects of it. So generally, since last 4 decades or more than that, confidentiality, availability, and integrity, CIA tried. So this has been the largest contributor towards each cybersecurity standard framework or any implementation. So if there is a disclosure of the information or asset, it is known as breach to the confidentiality. So here I'm explaining the opposite words of it. And if there is a alteration or destruction of the critical assets, it is known as integrity breach. And if your service is not available or you can't access your asset, it is known as denial to the asset, or it is lag into availability. So these 3 areas are very important for each cybersecurity concept which is getting implemented throughout the market. And again, this is a Castle model founded by US Army, I guess, before few decades. So this is originated from them, and now it is again one of the most important area in cybersecurity postures implemented in organization. So it has the mission critical asset. Generally, it is information at the center of the organization, and then there is a data security, there is application security, host or endpoint security. Endpoint means your laptop, mobile, server, any device through which you are accessing any application. So that is endpoint. So endpoint security, the network, your LAN, your Wi-Fi, and everything will come under network. Then physical perimeter security, and then human security layer. So these are various layers which should get safeguarded according to defense in depth concept. So as it will, like at our home, we have safety door and a main door. So safety door is one layer, main door is another layer. Then you probably having a safe where you are keeping your jewelry and all in your bedroom. So that will be another layer. So we are actually reducing the penetration or easy to reach to our mission critical asset. We are actually delaying the cyber attack. So we can't say everything is risk free now, but it will delay the cyber attack, and it is increasing difficulties towards the cyber attacks. So as Industry 4.0 is talking about physical, digital, biological world, and it is talking about various transactions, transitions happening through the digital era. And it is now it has increased the attack surface where cyber criminals are getting benefited because everything is moving AI, ML, cloud, IoT, IIoT. So it is actually increasing the attack surface. So more opportunities for hackers. I conducted a research survey in last year mid, where I have got participation from top management like CEOs, C-level executives and directors, owners of the different small and medium enterprises from 18 countries. So I will share few of the data insights with you. So around 40% of those companies were having more than 10 years existence. So it was a very valuable data for us. If we look at the statistics, there are around 57.39, means around 58% companies are not having any standard implemented. Most popular standard which we found is like ISO, which is around 23%, and few companies are having presence in Europe and various countries where they are actually required to undergo GDPR compliance, so they are going for it. And NIST is one of the popular framework used worldwide. So as we can see, there is a very less acceptance for the existing standards in the world. So why it is happening? So if there are already ISO 27001, GDPR or NIST in market, then why people are not top management of small and medium enterprises are not adopting those or not executing such cybersecurity controls at their workplace. So that is the question. And that was the beginning point for me to do this research. So when we approached them, we saw like around 57% small and medium enterprises are having some kind of cybersecurity controls according to them. Few are even saying maybe they are not sure whether they are having any controls or not. And 28% SMEs, top management were saying they are not having any cybersecurity controls. And when we dig further, we found like physical security controls like CCTV, physical gates and guards, access cards for accessing the premises. So these kind of controls were more popular, yet 25% of SMEs were not having adequate physical security controls also. And motion control, security lighting, environment controls were the least implemented physical security controls. When we checked about the logical controls, so 64% companies having antivirus software as a technical or logical control, and 52% were considering firewall as their logical control. Further, when we digged into it, we found like 32% companies not having any security policies or guidelines or procedures to help their employees during the incident or during the regular operations. And when we dig further, we found like the training frequency is also very less in terms of small and medium enterprises. Only 32% of companies were having once in a year cybersecurity related training, and 34% of companies are not having any cybersecurity training till now. When we checked about the cyber threats or cyber attacks they have faced, many companies were talking about the malware attacks like viruses, 14%, and phishing attack is most common attack happening, which they observed. Then insider threat, where we found like a few top management said like their employees, when they are leaving the job from their organization, they are actually stealing the information and they are going and implementing same design in another organization. They are joining their competitors. So that is the one of the insider threat they have discussed with me. So when we checked why SMEs are not having the cybersecurity posture or not implementing cybersecurity controls. So the most important input which we got is like 25% of SME top management said like it is a very costly affair for them. They are not having enough finance to implement it because ISO 27001 or NIST such standards are demanding many controls, so they don't have enough money to invest in it. Second biggest reason they said like they don't know how to implement and which controls to implement at beginning, and then they are also having lack of resources. And one more important aspect is they can't relate why they need to implement certain cybersecurity controls. They can't relate the business priorities with the cybersecurity posture. So the investment should have ROI. So that is one of the reasons they are not implementing cybersecurity controls. So we took those inputs and I have created one flow, which is known as business domains specific least cybersecurity controls implementation, BDS LCCI. So where we are actually working on this framework where we are actually asking them to SMEs to identify the mission critical asset. Then that mission critical asset can be anything. It can be e-commerce website or e-commerce domain company. It can be for medicine manufacturing company. It might be the medicine formula where they are putting certain weightage to certain things to build the medicine. So it might be different for some few companies. It might be CNC machine. I will discuss it later. Then second thing is they need to prioritize the confidentiality, integrity, and availability based on the mission critical asset they have chosen. I will discuss it in next slide. Then slowly, they need to implement the prioritized cybersecurity controls for mission critical asset. Then again, the defense in depth. So they need to follow certain steps to make their company having defense in depth in place, so as they will get overall cybersecurity posture. And after having all this implementation, we are actually giving their maturity level depending on how many controls they have implemented in which stage. So I will explain this diagram in next slides. So for example, as I said, for a banking or financial services, generally there is a net banking kind of portal where financial transactions are happening. So their confidentiality is the first priority for them. Availability is the last priority. Why I'm saying this? Because they, according to our research, people are okay if the financial transactions are stopped for few hours or minutes, but they are not okay if the confidentiality is breached during that transaction. Again, for e-commerce company like Amazon or any such company, the availability is the first priority, because if the website is down, it is going to hamper their business. But if their products information got leaked, it's okay. It's not that confidential. It is publicly available. Then pharmaceutical company, they are having a lot of integrity concern. Like if suppose there is a crocin, which is a very popular medicine in fever. So suppose if the proportion of the medicine ingredients changes, so it will become poison, right? It will not be a medicine. So integrity of those components is very much important. It should not get altered. So they are very much concerned about the integrity. So these are few kind of controls: preventive, detective, deterrent, recovery, corrective, and those are also in physical, logical. Logical means technical, and the administrative controls. When we talk to top management during I took interviews with them. So we saw like in the manufacturing industry, suppose the domain is design drawings. So they say like confidentiality is first priority for them, integrity is next, and availability is last. If we take another example, like the CNC machine, one of the company was having CNC machine as their production department's crucial or mission critical asset. So they said like availability is first priority for them to make that production machine is up and running. It is always having power supply. It is always having someone who is monitoring that. So availability is the first priority for them, then integrity, and then confidentiality. Similarly, for software, technology, server, automation, software and database kind of domain providers. So they say like integrity is most crucial for them. Confidentiality is next, and then the availability. So as we can see in this diagram, so there are many different combinations where availability, integrity, and confidentiality changes depending on the mission critical asset of the particular domain, like in this case, the manufacturing domain. I will quickly open the PDF file where I have captured more inputs, if it is visible to you. So this is manufacturing industry. And if you look the logistics, e-learning, many inputs I have got. I spoke to many of the CEOs and directors who are leading the business. So for e-commerce, they are saying e-learning and e-commerce, they are saying availability is the first priority. And BSFI, they are saying confidentiality is the first priority. Then industrial automation, depending on the business critical asset, like cloud platform, availability, integrity, confidentiality, it keep on changing the prioritization. So I spoke to more than 100 CEOs and C-level executives to gather this information. Okay, so we gone through this in PDF. So as I told you, like we have designed a framework based on our studies where we are giving two channels actually. So one channel is about the first column and second channel is about second column here in the table. And if the company has identified the mission critical asset and either of the confidentiality, integrity, and availability they have implemented, along with the human security layer, this second column is talking about defense in depth controls. So where it will have human security layer, physical layer, and endpoint security. And if it is a public facing platform or the they're having, so then they need to consider even network security, application layer, and data security layer. So we are actually working towards the solution in AI, where they will come to know about what controls they need to implement. And then if they implement this first level, they will be at level 1, according to our framework. And similarly, it keep on increasing. So if they are implementing entire confidentiality, integrity, and availability, so they will be at level 3, and along with the defense in depth for each layer. So what is happening here is like we till now in the market, whatever the framework or standards are existing, they are not. They are having specific controls in a list of the controls which every company need to implement. It might be the pharma, it might be e-commerce. Everyone need to implement the same set. But through our research, we are actually giving the flexibility of choosing what is critical for my business. We are involving the top management. We are involving top management inputs in this framework to consider prioritization of the controls. So that is very much important, and that is the paradigm shift we are doing. And then again, in defense in depth also, we are actually giving them choices to choose particular controls in each layer, and they will get maturity over the time. At the first, they will get the beginning controls, then slowly they will keep on implementing the more defense in depth. So that is how we have designed. So here, according to this paradigm shift diagram, you can see the existing framework is talking about the standard or framework expectation driven control landscape. And now we are talking about the business priority driven cybersecurity controls. So this is something which I have designed since years. And now another thing, we are implementing a software along with responsible artificial intelligence, responsible AI, where we are considering the security with safety measures and ethics. Why safety measures? Because it should not be, the security control should not harm any human being or any lives actually. So there are 50 principles based on responsible AI, where we are implementing that software. So this software will actually help organizations towards the journey of the SME. So this software, once they register, there will be predictions which, according to their domain, which will be the mission critical asset. They have choice to choose the same, or they can add new mission critical asset. And depending on their journey of the mission critical asset, what will be the priority for them, we will predict according to our algo. If they say no, this is not right prediction, our prediction is different, our priorities are different. So instead of confidentiality, availability, or integrity, I want integrity first and then confidentiality implemented. So we are giving that facility in our AI software. So this software is in testing mode right now. So I'm not going to demonstrate today. So my next plan is we are going to, I'm just concluding, last slide.
Yes, sir.
So next plan is we are just planning towards forming a non-profit organization, where we will be actually doing giving this framework free of cost to all the SMEs. There are 40 million SMEs, I guess, 400 million SMEs throughout the world, where they can adopt this software, use this software online, and they can go stage-wise implementation towards the cybersecurity controls. Then we are going to do research and development, and we will be helping strengthening cybersecurity for SME segment throughout the world, and then strengthening the global economy, because global economy is based on small and medium enterprises' success. So why I came today in this conference, because I'm looking for people or the industry leaders to come forward and join us to form a non-profit organization and to take initiative towards the successful journey for global economies, strengthening the small and medium enterprises. So you can contact me for any further discussion or any queries. And I really thankful to organizer and fellow speakers. It was really enlightening and it was a great opportunity today. So any questions, I'm open for it.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing such a wonderful presentation with us on the business domain specifically cybersecurity controlled implementation for small and medium enterprises. Thank you again, sir. Do anyone have any question? I repeat, do anyone have any question?
So I wrote a research chapter in a book, which is going to get published by Imran's Publishing. Imran's Publishing UK in upcoming 6 months. So where I wrote 33 pages of chapter about this research. And there are 3 international leading journals who are going to publish my paper soon. So it will be available soon for all of you.
Thank you, sir. If anyone have any questions, so they can put their question into the chat box. So sir will reply them into the chat box. Thank you again, sir. With that, we are moving to our next speaker,